how different is this league? It's a very unique league, as we have said. If you could talk about the growth of this league.
Yeah, well, I think this league is no different than any other league. The thing with this league is that we've seen over the first 3 years a very clear difference with the growth of the domestic players, which is really wonderful to see.
How taxing is auction?
You know, the important thing with auctions, in my view, is that there's two different ways to view it. You have needs and you have wants.
Where do you see the future of two formats, especially ODI and then Test cricket?
Yeah, look, I'd hate to see Test cricket sort of, slowly diminish over a period of time. I think it's still the purest form of the game.
Hello everyone, you're watching TI Sports. Today we have a man, I really admire the guy. With the coaching, the cricketer he was while we were growing up, Mr. Tom Moody. Tom, you have been part of so many franchises. You have been in the coaching setup. You have won tournaments. How different is this league? And it's a very unique league, as we have said. If you could talk about the growth of this league and about ILT20.
Yeah, well, I think this league is no different than any other league that's starting out. The thing with this league is that we've seen over the first 3 years a very clear difference with the growth of the domestic players, which is really wonderful to see, because that's, to me, the most important thing is that if the Emirates Cricket Board have got their own league, it's to enable them to fast track and develop their talent. And we've seen that, over the first 3 years. The UAE players that have been selected in each of the teams this year are all very, very strong. And their exposure and experience to what's around them is only going to help their development.
How taxing is auction when you have to prepare everything? I've been part of so many auctions.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, the auction is an interesting dynamic, but the important thing with auctions, in my view, is that there's two different ways to view it. You have needs and you have wants. The wants aren't going to win you anything. The needs are. It's what you need to balance your side is the most important thing. We all want to have the best players, but within a budget you can't have all the best players. So it's really important that you remain focused on exactly what you need to balance your side and to make you a stronger team.
And as a coach, if you're part of a national setup, it's a different journey when you're with the team all the time. But here you are for the weeks. As a coach, has coaching evolved over the period of time in your experience?
Oh, there's no question coaching has evolved. Constantly evolves because the game's constantly evolving. So you need to adapt to not only the game and how that's changing and try to get ahead of the curve, but you also need to understand the players and the playing group that you've got. At times you have a young group that you need to adapt your coaching style to. In other cases, you have more an established, experienced group. So therefore, your coaching style needs to adapt to that. So to me, it's understanding what setting you're in, and also constantly being open to listening to the younger players coming through the system, because they're the ones really at the steering wheel driving the game.
So, you've been the coaches of so many franchises and national setup, and you see the window. It's very taxing. We'll not go about the injuries and all. You see in the future, first question first, on the ODI's future, where do you see that? A Test cricket and the T20, how all three, and the franchise, obviously, how these three can coexist? Because some pundits say that bilateral, cut them away. Let's play franchise cricket and international cricket going forward. Cricket expert and a former cricketer, how do you see that window? So where every format of cricket can exist and go on?
Well, what we know for sure is the window is not going to get any bigger. It is what it is. It's 12 months a year, and that's the reality. I think the ICC have obviously got a tough job in their hand, because it appears that most cricketing boards are wanting to have their own franchise tournament, localised franchise tournament, and then we have these other tournaments that are cropping up, like your T10s of the world. So at the end of the day, I think what's really important from the ICC's perspective is just being very, very careful with regards to who has the right to host these franchise tournaments, because there is it's important the quality control is there, not only from a playing perspective, but from an ownership perspective and everything else, because that has a bearing on the game.
Where do you see the future of two formats, especially ODI and then Test cricket? There's talk about two-tier system. I don't know. Where do you see the future of this cricket, this long formats going?
Yeah, look, I'd hate to see Test cricket sort of, slowly diminish over a period of time. I think it's still the purest form of the game. It's the purest test of any cricketer, whether it be a batter or a bowler, and I think that needs to be safeguarded, and how the ICC do that, it's a tough task, and thankfully I'm not the decision maker there, but I think that there needs to be an understanding of how we can have respect the growth of the game, which is in the shorter format of the game, and also protecting Test cricket very much in the background, because I think most people will probably retire into the distance wanting to know not so much, how much money they've made out of French cricket. They'd much rather know that they have been highly respected as a Test player.
I was having a word with Jonathan Trott. He made a very valid point about this entire thing that is happening. Oh, Test cricket, 2.5 days result, 2 days. But a few years back, he said it became boring when there were so many drawn tests because of the flat pitches and everything. Do you see going forward we can curtail or make it a 4-day test, because it's a result-oriented game now with the WTC point system and everything? So you will get that extra breather also. Are you in for that, or you still want that test period be 5-day affair? And let's move forward.
Yeah, look, I think there's a strong argument that Test cricket could be over 4 days, but I would also echo that with the caveat that overs are bowled in a day. And I think that's one of the biggest issues with regards to just the pace of Test cricket. And keeping the game moving forward. So if you're going to have the 4-day test match, you've got to commit to finding a solution to have over rate in order every single day of those 4 days.
Thank you.